Hey everybody, welcome back to On the Road to Dr. Effin. I'm Javeda Bay, soon to be Dr. Effin. Soonish to be Dr. Effin, and this is my web series where I take you along on my journey of being a black woman in academia pursuing 2 PhDs because obviously I enjoy torturing myself. And the torture is real right now. So if you've watched the last couple episodes of this series, then you are aware that I did my lit review as a part of my comps last semester. And if you have been following me on social media, then you're probably already hip to this. I didn't pass it. I did not pass the lit review portion of my comps. And it's been a whirlwind. But before we get into that, let me give y'all some context, okay? I'm a planner and obviously an overachiever, okay? Like, that's just me. I don't know how else to be. So, because I'm a planner and an overachiever, I already had mapped out the timeline of me finishing my PhD. And I mapped it out before I had full context of what it's like to get a PhD. But I'm also very hard on myself. Like, go figure that a person who takes on so much, does so much, is hard on themselves. It's the curse of being a young and gifted child. The expectations were already set high, so I had to set higher expectations to exceed the expectations, and that has not gone away. That is still very much who I am. And so I definitely, yeah, there's like very few words to truly describe it. But I found out, today? No, I know I didn't find out today. I found out on, it must have been Monday or Tuesday. I found out that I did not pass. And it was immediately just like hell. I put myself through hell. I just cried. I cried a lot. Probably like 8 times over the span of 2 hours. I just started crying. All because like I had the expectation, like, Javay, obviously you can write a lit review. It's fine. You got this. And I've learned a lot over the past like 4 or 5 days. 1, I'm way too hard on myself. 2, aiming for perfection is never going to end well for me or anybody, but definitely not for me. And 3, this is all a learning process. I don't know why. I just imagined that I was instantly going to be great at everything PhD. Like, a PhD is not grade school. A PhD is not undergrad. A PhD is so much more. And the fact that I was putting so much pressure on myself to like already be there is ridiculous. But once I found out, like, obviously I went through all of the emotions, like sadness, anger, so much anger. Like, I was enraged. Disappointment, all the things. I even contemplated just like, dropping out. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I met with my professor, and luckily, not passing your lit review does not immediately get you kicked out of a PhD program. At least not this one. So thank freaking goodness. I do have another opportunity to work on my lit review. So that's what I'm going to be doing this semester. So not moving into dissertation proposal just yet. But that's not even the real kicker. In this experience and learning that I didn't do it as well as I thought, I had to meet with my professor, obviously, to go over like what needs to change for me to actually move forward in this program and with my PhD. And as I said earlier, I'm a planner. In this conversation with my professor, my planning is thrown out the window. It's truly like, stop. Because my plan was that I was going to finish my PhD May 2025. That is what I've been saying since the minute I got accepted into this program. I was like, great. 2 years of coursework, 2 years to do my dissertation. Piece of cake. Again, this is why you should know all the intricacies of stuff before you start making a plan, because I just thought that lit review, comps, proposal, all that was like quick stuff. It's not. not, as we're seeing from me having to do a second semester of my lit review. And then I was informed that typically people take 2 semesters to actually finish their dissertation proposal. Even when I make it to the stage, I'm not taking 2 semesters to do that thing because I understand how proposal works. But they were like, yeah, no, May 2025 is a little unrealistic for a wide variety of reasons, Jave. The first one being the research you want to do requires you to build relationships. And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm fine with that. I'm great at that. And then they were like, you also want to do interviews. You want to do qualitative research, which means that you have to transcribe those interviews. Like, I literally have to take every recorded interview and then write it out word for word. And literally, like, the math that they gave me was for every minute of audio that you have to transcribe, it's going to take you 10 minutes to transcribe it. So let's just assume that I actually go with my plan and I interview 10 people, just 10. 10 people at like 90 minutes is what? 900 minutes times 10? That's 9,000 minutes that it would take for me to transcribe all of those. Granted, I think that numbers is based off of just like doing like transcription absolutely by ear and by hand. I don't know me, I'm a tech girly. So I plan on using software, but you obviously still have to go back and like verify that it's correct. Which I'll say we can cut it in half to like 5 minutes. But cool. So that's still 4,500 minutes of just transcription. Haven't even actually moved into the analyzing and all that jazz. And so hearing that, I was like, oh, I see what you mean about this not being done in a year, because there's a lot of moving pieces to it. So the moral of all of this is I was presented with a hurdle and now I'm going to overcome it, because what are the other options? To not get your PhD, to not get my PhD? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Also, because I done already put in 2.5 years worth of work into this, I'm not about to throw that all away. So all this is to say, yes, I was devastated. I was absolutely gutted, like just, Yes, I did consider dropping out, but I am not going to. And also, I don't have to be perfect at this. There's no expectation for me to be perfect at this. It's all a learning experience, and that's okay. I'm here to learn how to do this. And considering my stance on like academic writing, I shouldn't be shocked that I didn't pass my lit review. I'm of the firm believer that you write so people can understand it. And academic writing is not made for that. So now that I know better, understand more, I'm also gonna adjust my tactics of how I did it, because I just did the lit review how everybody else did the lit review. And all my friends were like, yeah, I read my articles and then I started writing. So I did that. I read the articles and then I started writing. I am like, that's not how I work. I am a visual person. Visual, verbal person. I process things verbally. I ain't talked to nobody while doing my lit review. I did not verbally process anything I was reading. I was just like, cool, I think that makes sense, and kept it moving. My professor was like, you need to talk about your lit review. Talk about it with people so that way you can make sure that your ideas make sense and like things flow and you're connecting all the dots. And I was like, oh, that's a really good point. Yeah, I probably should talk to people about my lit review, because the point is that it is going to be like something that people learn new things from. So if you talk about it, you can see like, oh, that is a very unclear point. I should probably add a little bit more detail about that, or whatever it is. But I'm changing my tactics. We're going to actually write my lit review in a way that works for me, and not just go off of how everybody else was doing theirs, because I'm not like everybody else. Literally, this neurodivergent brain works in some wild ways. Also, there's always 1,000,001 thoughts running through my head. Me recording a voice note is a lot easier than me trying to remember that thought to actually type it up into my paper. So I'm going to stop being afraid of being vocal in this process. Which is a whole other conversation that I don't even have the time or space to get into right now. But we'll dig into that in another episode. But yeah, I didn't pass my lit review. The world is still here. Though I thought that it was crumbling around me for a little bit, it is still here. I'm still here. It's all Gucci. We're all good. yeah, so come along for the ride as I rewrite my lit review. Yeah. And I do have all of this semester to do it. Originally I thought like, cool, it'd be like 2 weeks. I looked at the feedback, y'all. It's not like a, hey, you're almost, it was, you ain't there at all type feedback. So we're gonna take all semester to rewrite it. But yeah, I just want you to know, if you are someone that beats yourself up for not getting things right the first try, if you are also in a PhD program and feeling like you don't know what you're doing and you're just messing up left and right, or if you just are an overachiever in life and set high expectations for yourself that are truly unrealistic to meet, you're not alone. And I also need you to hear me when I say this to us. It's to us. We are more than enough, not actually trying to be everything and exceed all expectations. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. Only expectations that matter are the ones that are realistic for you to have for yourself. Not the unrealistic ones, like obviously a little unrealistic, like I'm gonna be president. Also, did you want to be president? But that's another conversation. We don't have to meet others' expectations. We don't have to surpass others' expectations because we created those expectations for ourselves. We are good, baby. We're good. So trying your best, that's what matters. Showing up, submitting something, that's what matters. And taking it easy on yourself, that extremely matters. Like if you spend more time beating yourself up, and again, I'm talking to us, you just taking away more time that you could do to learn it better, try again, all these things. What does beating yourself up do? I know it's like very common nature. You're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that wrong. I too go in the downward spiral of spending X amount of time beating myself up for not doing something perfectly. And we're gonna work on that in 2024 because no, like I'm beating myself up for not knowing how to do something I don't know how to do. What? But yeah, in case you needed to hear that, it's for you as well as me. But yeah, we're trekking along, we're pushing forward. So if you want to continue on this journey with me, if you would like to see if I actually do get it right, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also follow me on all my social media platforms, specifically TikTok though, if you're really interested in like the PhD experience, because that's where I share more of that. And definitely make sure you subscribe for my email newsletter, because if I were to get booted from social media platforms or this platform, that's how you're gonna stay in contact with me, and then I'm just gonna like readjust everything so that way you're still getting the information you want, you're still taking along for the ride, all those pieces. But yeah, that's that. I hope that you are having a great week and a really good start to 2024. I'm not. But I hope that you are, and I hope that 2024 only gets better for you. And if you are in school, sending you all the love, because I know how hard it is. But yeah, until next time, I'm gonna see you later. Deuces.